Welcome back to the Snowpoint Cast. Today we're going to be looking at a deck from 2011 called Bearhug. So Bearhug actually got first place at the National Championships in 2011, won the Juniors division, a player named Xander Pero, who actually went on to see a ton more success after this. Definitely won the Juniors division with it, so kind of a cool deck. Let's get right into it. So starting off with 4 Yanma. Yanma and Yanmega are a big part of the deck. Yanmega is a super solid attacker. So Yanma's got 50 HP. Single retreat, resistance to fighting, and a weakness to lightning. So the Pokebody is called Free Flight. It doesn't have any energy attached to it, which it shouldn't usually ever have. It's got a free retreat, which is really nice. And then Dive for a Grass Colorless does 20. And then you play 4 of the Yanmega, super solid attacker. So Yanmega, it's got 110 HP, Grass type, free retreat, which is really nice. Keeps that resistance and weakness. The Pokebody is called Insight. So if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, the attack of each of Yanmega's attacks is 0. So free attack is super clutch because you can be attaching elsewhere, which is amazing. And honestly, just attacking for free is so good. So linear attack, the first attack for Grass Colorless or free. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 40 damage to that Pokemon. So sniping 40 is really nice. And then Sonic Boom for Grass Colorless or free, depending. You do 70, and then this attacks damage is in effect by weakness or resistance. So definitely 2 really clutch attacks there. The linear attack especially is really solid for setting up some KOs for later in the game. And even just different win conditions, which we're going to get to in a little bit. You play a Jirachi, which is kind of relevant. You can set up some cool stuff with that. But continuing on, we do play a Vileplume line as well. So you're going to be playing 3 Oddish. It just makes sense, you know. Try to find the Oddish as soon as you can, so 3 ups your odds of finding it. 40 HP, Grass type, single retreat, no resistance, and a weakness to Psychic. So Ram for 1 Colorless does 10, and then Find a Friend for 1 Grass. Flip a coin of heads to your deck for a Grass Pokemon, show it to your opponent, and put it in your hand. So decent to find a Vileplume if you're in a pinch and you have to attach to Oddish. They also play 2 Gloom. Gloom's got 80 HP, Grass type. Same retreat, same weakness. Miracle Powder for Grass Colorless does 30. Flip a coin of heads, choose a special condition. The defending Pokemon is now affected by that, so that's actually really nice. Be able to shut off powers for multiple turns with poison, or just stall for a turn with paralyze, kind of depending on what you need. And then you're also going to be playing 2 Vileplume. So Vileplume's got 120 HP, Grass type, 2 retreat, and keeps that weakness to Psychic. So the Pokebody is so good on it. It's called Allergy Flower. Each player can't play trainer cards from his or her hand. So locking trainers is a big part of this deck because you excel in terms of trading later in the game because of a couple things, and just because you outspeed a lot of decks with Sunflora, which we're also going to get to in just a second. And you can also attack with Vileplume. So Vileplume for Grass Colorless, Dazzling Pollen does 50. Flip a coin of heads, this attack does 50 plus 20 more damage. If tails, the defending Pokemon is now confused. So you're either getting 70 or Confusion, which is actually a pretty decent attack if you're in a pinch. I mean, 3 attaches a lot, but and then you also play a Bellossom. So this Blossom's kind of a tech card for healing. So it's got 110 HP, Grass type, single retreat, resistance to water, and weakness to fire. So Hustle Step is the power. Once during your turn before you attack, you may remove 1 damage counter from each of your Pokemon. This power can't be used if Bellossom is affected by a special condition. So being able to Hustle Step, just clearing your board of damage with the Yanmegas especially. You can take a hit with a Yanmega and then switch to another Yanmega and then just start Hustle Stepping to heal it off if your board is set up like that. And rotating between Yanmegas while you heal is actually kind of a cool strategy for sure. I guess we could talk about the attack too. So Dance Till Dawn, Grass Colors, flip 3 coins. This attack does 30 damage times the number of heads, and then Bellossom is now asleep. So honestly, really awful attack. But if you're in a really clutch position, you might really need to, I guess, but really awful attack. So do you also play Ursaring line? So Ursaring, 3 Teddiursa, 50 HP, colorless type, single retreat, and weakness to fighting. So Fake Tears for 1 colorless, flip a coin of heads. Your opponent can't play any trainer cards from his or her hand during your opponent's next turn, and any damage done to Teddiursa by attacks is reduced by 30. So Fake Tears actually a really good attack. Not only does it lock trainer cards, but also it reduces damage by a significant amount. So it means that if your opponent goes first and they have a Yanmega, and then you don't really have anything, you can Fake Tears, hope for the heads. If you hit the heads, it means they can't just go Yanmega, Judge, KO with Sonic Boom, because Yanmega is a really big part of this format. So being able to reduce by 30 and then still live through that is pretty nice for sure. And you also play 2 Ursaring Prime. So Ursaring Prime is another one of your attackers. It's really solid. So 110 HP, 3 retreat, and a weakness to fighting. So the Pokebody is called Berserk. If Ursaring has any damage counters on it, each of Ursaring's attacks do 60 more damage. So that's a pretty big buff. I mean, you're going from 30 to 60, or 30 to 90, and 60 to 120, which is pretty solid numbers, especially for 3 and 4 respectively. And then Hammer Arm, the first attack does 30. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck, which is actually really nice. Being able to mill your opponent out of their options can be really clutch, especially in a locked deck, because you only have like supporter cards that they're hoping to draw, and if you're able to discard those supporter cards, it can be really bad for them. And then Megaton Lorate is just a good powerhouse attack, especially if you have that Berserk going. Okay, then you also play a 2/2 Sunflora line. So you're playing 2 of this, Sunkern, 40 HP, grass type, single retreat, resistance to water, and a weakness to fire. So Cure Kernels for 1 colorless, remove 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon, and then Seed Bomb for a grass and a colorless does 20. But the main reason you play that's for this guy, the Sunflora. So Sunflora's got 80 HP, single retreat, keeps out resistance and weakness. The Pokepower is called Sunshine Grace. So once during your turn before you attack, you may search your deck for a grass Pokemon, show it to your opponent, and put it in your hand. So this is an amazing card for the deck. I think this is one of the best cards of the deck, just because you're able to search out not only your attackers, but your Vileplume really quickly. And it kind of benefits you because let's say you go Collector turn 1. You can go Collector, and then if you have a Pokemon Communication, you can find the Sunflora. And now not only are you getting the Pokemon that you like would have regularly communicated for, next turn you're going to have another grass Pokemon, and then the turn after that you're going to have another one, etc., etc. And as soon as you set up, like you can get 2 Sunfloras set up, and then you're searching 2 grass Pokemon a turn, and you get crazy setups of that. Usually you don't want 2, really depends on what the board looks like, but being able to have that really fast search is just really, really nice. And then it doesn't have attack, so really bad attack to be honest, but for grass, colorless, Blade Arms does 40. Really bad attack, but I guess useful in a pinch. So you're also playing a Roserade line. So you play 1 Roselia. It's got 60 HP for 1 retreat and weakness to fire. For 1 grass, Petal Dance does 20 times. Flip 3 coins. This deck does 20 times the number of heads. Pretty meh, but I mean being able to hit 60 for 1 is actually not too bad. And then you play this for the Roserade. So Roserade is really amazing. So Roserade's got 90 HP, single retreat, and weakness to fire. So energy, I'm just going to read it because the text is so small. Energy signal: when you attach a grass energy card or a psychic energy card from your hand to Roserade during your turn, you may use this power. If you attach a grass energy card, the defending Pokemon is now confused. If you attach a psychic energy card, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. So you play rainbow energies, which is actually a really clutch part to that. Rainbows, not only do they activate Berserk on Ursaring, which is really nice, but they also do both of the energy signals. So they both poison and confuse your opponent, which is kind of crazy, especially in a Vileplume deck. Being able to affect your opponent not only with a special condition to turn their power off if they have a power, but being able to also hit them for extra damage with poison and potentially negate attacks with that confusion is really, really deadly, especially for a single rainbow attach. And like I was saying, when you're attacking with Yanmega and you don't have to attach to the Yanmega, kind of opens your attachments elsewhere and lets you potentially attach to the Roserade to energy signal. And then Roserade also has an attack, so Power Blow for grass color does 20 times the number of energy attached to Roserade. So I guess okay in a pinch as well. And then the Jirachi that I was talking about earlier, you can set up some pretty cool board wipes with this card. So Jirachi's got 60 HP, single retreat, and a weakness to psychic. So Stardust Song, not relevant because we don't play basic psychic energy, so I'm not going to read it out loud, but you can read it on the card if you'd like. And then Time Hollow for 1 psychic. Choose a number of your opponent's stage 1 or stage 2 evolved Pokemon up to the number of energy on Jirachi, and then remove the highest of those like evolution cards and put them back into your opponent's hands. So great for board clears. Linear attack lets you set up so much on your opponent's board. Sniping 40, especially when most of the like basics in this format have 60 or less HP, and then most of the stage 1s have 80. You can hit something twice with a linear attack, and then all of a sudden it's within reach of a Time Hollow knockout. Especially with double colorless energy, you can just go 1 rainbow, double colorless energy, and then all of a sudden you're clearing 3 of your opponent's highest stage evolution cards, which can be really good if they get rare candied as well. It's another benefit of this card is if your opponents do find a rare candy before you're able to get that Vileplume out, you can just potentially Time Hollow them and then put those cards back into their hand and then force them to manually evolve those turns, and that can set your opponent back a full turn, and that can be enough to start coming back if they did find a little bit of a lead there while you were finding your Vileplume. Okay, so you also play 4 trainer cards. So amazing for trainers. They're all Pokemon communication. Take a Pokemon from your hand, switch it with a Pokemon in your deck. Essentially is what Pokemon does. So with so many Pokemon, I mean, you're playing a ton of Pokemon. Being able to change the Pokemon that you need, finding Vileplume or Ursaring or Sunflora or literally whatever, is just keeps the deck functioning and moving really well. Okay, so getting into some of the supporter cards. So starting off with 4 Collector. Pokemon Collector is a great card. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon and then put them in your hand. So being able to find your pieces, Yanma, Oddish, and X, you know, whether that's a Sunkern or a Teddiursa or a Roselia even, depending on what your board needs. It's just a great setup card and a super staple in this format. So we're still playing 4 Judge. Judge is a disruption option. Both players shuffle their hand to their deck and draw 4. So not only is Judge a great disruption option, it's also great because it lets your Yanmegas attack for free. So as soon as you Judge, as long as you don't play any cards after, you have the same amount of cards in your hand, and then you can just attack for free with Yanmega, which is one of the main reasons that you play it. And also one of the main reasons that you play 4 Copycat. So you're playing a 4-4 Yanmega line, so it makes sense that you're playing supporters to help support your Yanmegas to attack. So Copycat, shuffle your hand to your deck, and then draw a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. So just another shuffle draw that lets you match your opponent really easily. Speaking of shuffle draw, we're also playing 2 Pont. So Professor Oak's new theory, shuffle your hand to your deck, draw 6. So depending on what you need and what you have, this can also help you match your opponent, but also it's just a really staple shuffle draw, a really solid card. And then you're also playing 2 Professor Juniper. So discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Juniper is just a great supporter card, especially when you're playing a Vileplume deck. There tends to be a lot of dead cards eventually. So being able to mill those so that when you shuffle draw back with Judge or Copycat or Pont later in the game, that you're not drawing into as many dead outs. Okay, so getting into the energy cards, starting off with 4 Rainbow Energy. Like I was saying, Rainbow is a super vital part of the deck, really great on an Ursaring, also great on a Roserade, but it lets you just kind of do whatever you want, and also important for Time Hollow with the Jirachi. So those are the main functions of double Rainbow, just Rainbow Energy. I was thinking about double colorless, that's why I said double. I was looking at the double colorless and I said double. Anyway, you're also playing 4 double colorless, so like I was saying, it's good on a Jirachi. You get those 2 extra energy on there so you can Time Hollow for more, but also great on an Ursaring. It fulfills half of the, I forget the second name of the attack. Oh, the Megaton Lorate. Sorry, these cards are Japanese. So it fulfills half of that. If you're able to get 2 DCE on there, all of a sudden you're Megaton Lorating for 60 pretty quick. So that's really nice. And then also being able to Hammer Arm for 2 attachments is pretty cool as well. Okay, and then you're also playing 4 Grass Energy, so basic grass just makes a lot of sense. It helps you get that poison with Roserade, but also just lets you attack with whatever you need to attack with, depending on what the board looks like. Okay, well, this has been Bearhug from 2011, Xander Pero's Junior Nationals winning list. If you have any questions about the deck, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.